If someone asked you the question, "Who are you?" how would you answer? You might share facts like your name, or where you live, or what you do, or maybe you go a little deeper, your personality, interests, talents, likes, and dislikes. But deep down, you know that your identity, the core of who you are, is more than your personal data, your activities, or your style. So what is your identity, and how is it formed? One idea is that you get to create your identity. You determine who you want to be, and social media is where you share the identity you create. According to this view, your identity is your brand. You choose how you present it to the world, and if it's not working for you, you can just change it. Another popular idea around identity is that you discover yourself. Your identity isn't something you create, it's always been there, and you get to discover it as you go through life and have new experiences. Your social media is less about promoting your identity and more about documenting the journey you're on to discover it. Creation, discovery, both are partly true. But there's another bigger way of thinking about your identity, one that goes beyond the surface. As Christians, we believe that God designed our identities before we were even born. And as we live our lives with Jesus, the Holy Spirit forms us over time into the people we were made to be. Your identity is rooted in the fact that you were created in the image of God, uniquely for a purpose. So why do our identities feel lost sometimes? And the answer is sin. Sin warps everything, including our sense of self. It creates internal pain and confusion and causes us to look within for truth about ourselves when God designed us to look up to Him. When we lose sight of our God-given identity, we feel pressured to define ourselves by the things of this world rather than by the image of God. God desires to bring us back to a full understanding of who He created us to be. He wants us to know the joy and fulfillment of being exactly ourselves, free from the confusion caused by sin. The moment you choose to follow Jesus, you're God's child. But this is just the beginning of a lifelong process called sanctification, through which the Holy Spirit undoes all the warping effects of sin on our identity and makes us more and more like Jesus. It unfolds over time. The Holy Spirit is at work in us to bring our thoughts, our attitudes, and behaviors in line with our identity as God's children. So, how does social media fit into this? While some might see social media as a platform to promote the identities we create or a tool to help us discover ourselves, as Christ followers, we need to reconsider the ways we use social media. We've got to ask, am I depending on it for my relationships, for my value, or my self-understanding? Is it distracting me? Is it shaping me? Just like every facet of our lives, our time online needs to be sanctified. Social media can be a great thing if we use it in healthy ways. So ask yourself, how are you using it? Our identities run deeper than our online personas. God is inviting you into a process that's richer and deeper than anything you could find inside yourself, in the world, or on a screen.